Hi, my name is Angie Schenkel, and I am giving my persuasive speech. How would you like to have a successful relationship? Relationships in general are not easy. They're a lot of work, and once you find something that you can do to improve that, why not try it? I think that the best way that you could have a relationship succeed today would be something extremely simple. Just put down your cell phone. Cell phones are harmful to relationships. There's a recent set of studies that were done by Andrew Pilbulis and Netta Weinstein that found that just having a cell phone nearby without even using it can be detrimental to our attempts at a personal connection. One of the main reasons is because there's constant access expected. There's an expectation to be constantly available to everyone around you. Whether it's through texting or phone calls, it creates a huge problem. Whether work is contacting you, family, or friends, everyone expects a quick answer. A 2011 study from the University of Hartford showed that people who have the most tension in their life were mad at their partner for not calling or texting enough. And the person that ran that study, his name was Robert Duran, and he was quoted as saying that technology is a means of testing the relationship. How quickly you respond is often the barometer of how successful or how interested you are in the relationship. Romeo Vitelli wrote an interesting article in Psychology Today which stated that personal cell phones have already promoted a sense of perpetual access by creating more stress to always be available. Another issue that we've got facing us is multitasking. There are a couple of big reasons why this is a problem, and the first one is that it's socially inappropriately used. I can't tell you how many times I've been sitting in a restaurant and people will pick up their cell phone to get a phone call or to answer a call or to make a call or to text someone while their date is left at the table just staring off into space. They're obviously not happy, and it happens consistently. You see how a cell phone can be a distraction regardless of whatever setting that you may be in. I've also been in movie theaters where phones will go off. Even though we've been warned repeatedly not to use them there, it doesn't seem to matter. And I think everyone's been guilty of pulling out their cell phone and making a personal text during a class or a lecture. It just should be more respectful than that. Another problem is just the distraction level of doing this, of multitasking around your spouse. You're not giving them the full attention that they deserve, and therefore you're kind of falling back on your duties in the relationship. James Roberts from Baylor University surveyed 453 adults across the country. They found that when someone perceived that their partner was distracted by their phone in their presence, it created conflict, led to lower levels of relationship satisfaction, lower levels of life satisfaction, and higher levels of depression. The other big issues that we're facing are dangers from cell phones. The first one that really stands out are the potential radiation exposures that are taking place, and I think everyone's more than aware of that. And the only way to avoid that would be to avoid using your phone as often. Put your phone down, go to speaker and keep your phone further away from you as often as possible. The other danger that we see happening, and it's actually skyrocketing, is physical safety. This has been a huge problem that I've seen just skyrocket this year. Driving and walking around while on your phone, whether you're texting or actually talking to someone, if you're looking up something on the internet, it's very, very distracting. We've all seen multiple news stories about the Pokemon Go app and how many injuries have been caused from that. 2 men actually fell off of a cliff in California when they were playing that game because they weren't watching where they were walking. And luckily they both lived and they were okay. They had many injuries, but they were okay. But it just goes to show how severe this situation is. There was an experiment done by Dr. Hyman where they had a clown riding a unicycle across a main square campus at a university in the United States, and students who were on their phone were half as likely to notice the clown going by as those that were not using electronics. And the American College of Emergency Physician Foundation had expressed concerns over rising numbers of emergency room cases that were involving mobile phone users who walk into lampposts, tripped on sidewalks, or stepped into traffic because they were too preoccupied with their phone. So it's not just driving that's creating the problems, it's just walking. So in conclusions, cell phones are harmful to relationships. Let's try our best to succeed in your relationships by just doing the following very basic steps. Just turn off your phone, and don't just turn it off, but put it away, put it in a drawer, put it out of sight. When you're with your spouse, they don't need it out, you don't need it out, unless there's an emergency. There are a lot of ways people can get in touch with you, and you probably aren't going to be receiving an emergency call most of the time. So enjoy that time with your spouse. And when you are using your phone, try to be considerate of how often you're calling or texting your spouse. Don't do it every hour. When you're in a social setting, try to be appropriate. Don't pick up your phone in the movie theater or the restaurant. And lastly, do your best to be as safe as possible when you're using your phone. Your significant other will love you for it. Thank you.